Good evening, ladies. I wanted to let you know that we are having some special guests on our Tuesday night calls. The former client, Carmen Smith, she is a licensed therapist. Also, we're going to have Kelsey Steele. She is a physical therapist, but she's much more than a physical therapist. She has worked with lymphedema clients. She has great information about nutrition. She's also my daughter-in-law. And so she will be
Oh,
joining us. So we've got some really great things coming up on Tuesdays. So I'm glad you're here. To those of you who aren't new and those of you who are watching this on replay and couldn't join tonight live, I want you to think about this. How many of you feel like you've been doing the work, you've been showing up, you've been tracking your food, you've been working out, but somewhere deep down, you know this. You're not really all in. Hmm. Like if you're honest, you have one foot in and one foot out. See, you want the results and you want to get your body back and you want to feel stronger and healthier and happier, but you're also still keeping the back door open. How many of you feel like that?
I think so. I
Yeah,
think so.
I think so. Some of us do. And I'll tell you, you're either half in or half out. And that's not going to get you very far. We've got to make a commitment. You're kind of doing the work, kind of not doing the work. Life gets hard and you quit doing the work, or until the scale quits moving. The scale never moves fast enough for anybody, or until you just feel frustrated, you get tired, you get bored, you get meh about the whole thing. And let me tell you something, and I want to say this with so much love in my heart because I have been there, but that mindset will kill your progress. I want to pause right there because if you know that you've been half in and half out, I'll tell you, I want you to be honest about it. I want you to be real honest about it. I'll tell you, it will ruin you mentally. It will really just take a big toll, to be really honest. To have one foot out and one foot in will mentally take a toll on you. How many of you felt like that before? Yeah. I see it. But here's the truth. It happens all the time. It's happened to me. There's none of us perfect. Women start strong and they make a little bit of progress, but they don't claim it. They don't claim the progress. That's sad. How many of you have done that? You've not given your own self credit, right? For the progress because you weren't where you wanted to be yet, but you didn't congratulate yourself and pat yourself on the back. It was always something way out there in the future that you were going to get to. I've done that almost my whole entire life. I remember my daughter Crystal and I, we had so many big goals when we were in music. We did some big things without a manager for a lot of years. We got on the Today Show because of fans asking Hoda and Kathy Lee to have us on. It went crazy. And the Today Show contacted us and we got on there. We flew out to New York with our band and we released our first single on the Today Show. How cool is that? We had been on The Voice, and that was really cool. From my daughter's first song she wrote, we not only performed at the Bluebird Cafe in Nashville, Tennessee, and if you know anything about that, that's legendary. We performed in front of a sold out crowd our very first show that day. And then in 2.5 weeks, so I think we had only done 2 or 3 shows total ever, we were invited to come audition for The Voice, and we made it on The Voice. And I'll tell you, we didn't take time to celebrate any of it. We always had another goal down the road. We never took time to say, hey, that was pretty freaking awesome. We just kept pushing it down the road. Bigger, better, more. And it just mentally will drain you. So that's what I mean about making some progress and not owning it. You gotta own it. You gotta tell yourself, hey, great job. And I'll tell you, I see so many of you doing that. And I want you to think about, is that me? And if it is, I want you to stop that. I want you to make a promise to yourself that, you know what? I'm going to give myself credit. I did good today. I met my protein goal today. I went to the gym today. Give yourself credit. Keep celebrating or start celebrating your wins. So many women stop showing up with the same fire that they had in the beginning. I have been there for that. They come on, like, oh, girl, I'm going to be the next one on your website. You are going to be using my pictures. I've heard this multiple times. You're going to be using my pictures, girl. I'm like, bring it. Bring it. Let's go. And then what happens? Crickets. They slow down. They dwindle. They fade out. And I'm like, come on, girl. Let's do it. And before you know it, they're gone. To be really honest, they're gone. And not because they were not capable. Did you hear that? Not because you are not capable. And not because the program didn't work. Here's why. Because they never made the decision to go all in. So let me ask you this right now. Are you here to play around with this? Is that why you signed up? Just, no, you're okay with playing around with it. Or are you here to change your life? Because those are two very different things. Very different things. And I'm going to tell you straight up, ladies, you don't get to change your life by halfway trying. You don't. You don't get a new body or a new mindset, a new level of energy by showing up just when it's convenient, by doing it when you feel like it, right? By letting yourself slide back into all those old patterns the moment that things get hard for you. And I know life gets busy. Some of you are nurses, some of you are ER staff, some of you are doctors, some of you are lawyers, some of you are pediatricians. A couple of you are a mom of 6, CEOs, school teachers. Some of you are retired and just go, 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 go. And I love that too. And I know there are days when you are so tired. And I know the scale isn't always going to move as fast as you want. But here's the thing. You cannot let that be your reason to stop. That's exactly how you never get to any goal. Yeah. And let me tell you something that I've seen over and over. Women quit right before the magic happens. Truth. Have you ever heard that old saying, it's always darkest before the dawn? That is so true. They quit when they're this close to their breakthrough. They quit because it's taken too long. They quit because they're tired of being patient. I've heard that one before. Allie, I am so tired of being patient. They quit because they feel like they're not getting anywhere, but they are, just not as fast as they want. I have had women tell me, well, the scale is just not moving. And I look back and the scale was moving, but the truth is it wasn't moving as fast as they wanted. The pictures were changing, but maybe the scale wasn't moving. And that confused them. That they were all about the number, but their body was changing. They just don't believe they can get to their goal enough to actually stay in the game. Now, see, that's not just about weight loss. These are patterns in life. Successful people do one thing, and unsuccessful people do the opposite. Yikes. So I want to make it really real. All right. if you want this, if you want it, if you want a body that you feel proud of, if you want your energy back, if you want to change your life, you have to decide that you are in, not half in, not in until it gets hard, not until something better comes along, not until the next shiny program distracts you, but all in, period. All in. All in. Let's make it practical. I want you to think about it right now. Where have you been half in and half out? Where have you been holding back? What habits are you still letting slide because you're not fully committed? Hmm. And I want to get real for a minute. What's one thing you know you've been half-assing? What is it? Some of you should drop it in the chat. Why? Because it makes you accountable. It makes you say it out loud. Patricia dropped something in there. Look at you go, girl. Now listen, I'm not saying this to shame anybody because I've been there. I've been in and out and up and down and over here and over there, tried all the crazy diets. But see, that wasn't just my diet. That was my life. I said I wanted to succeed. I was going to do this and do that. And it would get hard and I would push through a lot of times. It'd get harder and I'd push through. And I would not tell myself, great job. I would criticize myself. I would not only my body look in the mirror, I would criticize the way I did everything. I would criticize my vocal technique. I would criticize my stage presence. I have always compared myself to others or what others might think that I should be. I remember at one time I was so concerned about others. I went in a nail shop and I thought, why do I keep getting this pink nail polish? I don't even like it. Why am I getting this pink nail polish that I don't even like? I want to pick something I like. And do you know that I had the hardest time picking something I liked? Because I would get back to that pattern of, I wonder what's in style. I wonder, would people think this looks stupid? People gonna think I'm old because I got this color. All these thoughts. So I'm not saying any of this to shame you. But I want to show you that it doesn't just affect you right here. What I'm talking about tonight doesn't just affect you with weight loss, changing your physique. It affects you in every area of your life. And I'm saying it because I care too much about your success to let you stay stuck. We've been stuck. This journey right here, it's not just about losing a few pounds. It's not. This is about your life. This is about your health. For so many of us, it's about our confidence. It's about our energy levels. It's about our ability to just show up as the woman we want to be. And we don't get there. We don't get that by being halfway in. That's true. I'm going to tell you just a short story. I have seen so many women come into this program, women just like you. They had doubts, they had fears, they wondered if this would really work for them. They've seen it work for others. I put the pictures up, but I wonder if this will work for me. But you know what? The women who win right here are the ones who decide, I'm done playing small. I'm done waiting for it to get easy. I'm done being half in. They show up, they do the work, they push through the hard days, and they stop waiting for motivation. They make themselves show up. They don't quit when the scale doesn't move. They don't stop when they feel tired. And they don't let life knock them off course. And you know what happens? Ladies, what happens? They transform not just their bodies, but their whole lives. No joke. They transform their whole lives. When I tell you, ladies, that what we learn here at Bod Babes doesn't just change your body, I'm not lying to you. It will change your life. I have learned disciplines. I'll tell you a short story that I've never shared with anybody. And it sounds really stupid, but it's corny, and I'm going to tell you. So, truth. So, when I put up a Facebook post or Instagram post or something like that, I sit and I stare at that thing. I'm supposed to reply in a certain amount of time. And so for the first hour, you got to reply. And if not, Facebook really just cuts down your views of that post. Well, my business comes from my views. The more people that see me, the more clients I have. The less people that see me, the less clients I have. So it's pretty intense sometimes the way I watch that Facebook post for the first hour. All right. So I will watch it. I will comment, reply, thank everybody for sharing, all that stuff. But if Facebook didn't show my video or whatever my post was about to enough people, I would get so discouraged. I just can't do this. Facebook keeps making it harder. This is ridiculous. Why am I wasting my time? La da 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 da. And it made me burn out because I wasn't judging myself on the inputs of how consistent I was being and how I was still doing it. And yes, it's hard. It's not easy. Things do change. But instead, I started pulling back on my posts. I would find reasons to pull back. Well, although our business has prospered still, we have dropped in numbers. Why? Because my head game was off, because it got harder for me. And emotionally, I would just get so upset about the results that I just pulled way back, and it affected our business. So the same thing happens right here at Bod Babes. The scale doesn't move fast enough. You get tired of being consistent and you just like, it's hard. It's just not going to work for me. And you pull back and then you give up. Same thing. But you know that the disciplines that I've built here hit me. And I thought just yesterday, just yesterday, this is how real and current this is. Just yesterday, I thought, you are so stupid. You tell people all the time, I don't want you to look at the outputs. I want you to look at the inputs. You can't control, for the most part, what the scale says when you step on it. You can't. All you can control is, did I eat the right amount of calories? Did I work out? Did I get my steps? Did I get my water? All the stuff that you're learning. Did I eat good foods or did I eat trash? You can control the inputs. You cannot control how fast your body responds, how the scale moves, where you lose fat on your body. First, well, gosh, I can lose it on my ankles. I can lose it on my wrist. But darn it, what's this right here? And why won't it leave? I know. But see, you can't control that, but you can control the input. So what I learned through fitness over the last 6 years was, Allie, don't be stupid. You cannot control what Facebook does. You cannot control how many people see your post. You cannot get upset about it. The people who win are not the ones who are half in, half out. The ones who win at this game are the ones who are consistent, not perfect, but consistent for the long haul. And I will tell you, in my fitness journey, I have been consistent. I have definitely not been perfect. There are days, girl, when I'm not perfect at all or even close, but I got my butt back up the next day, sometimes 2 days later, and I said, you know what? I want this. I know that I cannot get results by being half in and half out. Same with Facebook, same with marketing, right? So I looked at myself and said, I know that doesn't work for fitness. That's not going to work for my company. What the heck am I doing? I know better than that. So I'm telling you that the skills and the disciplines you're learning right here not just change your body, but girlfriend, it'll change your business. It'll change your relationships. I've had women who won at this. One lady, and I talk about it all the time, lost 80 pounds. She was living in a separate room from her husband. They planned on getting divorced when their twins graduated that year. She was overweight. She was a manager at her job and she just, ugh. She said, I'm just tired of this job. She just went in and did her thing. And you know what? She came on at Bod Babes and she said when she wrote down what she wanted, her goal weight was, she said she wrote it down with a pencil. She printed it out and she wrote it down on there and took a picture of it and sent it to me. She said when I went to write that down, she goes, I hesitated because she said I thought I will never get there. And you know what it was? It was a 30-pound weight loss. She said I will never get there. She said she thought it. But she said, I wrote it down anyway. And she thought, I will never lose 30 pounds. And she doubted it. And she went on, and she was consistent. Her name was Gina, and she was consistent. She went on and on and on. And eventually, she lost 60 pounds. And we went down to Georgia and did an interview with her. And then eventually, she lost 80 pounds. And she never thought she could lose 30, but she was consistent. But here's what happened to her life. She sent us a big long email, and I have this somewhere. And when I read it, Wade and I usually sit in the bed in the morning when we're not getting up at 3:30, and we drink our coffee and talk about our day and what we plan on doing for the day. And so anyway, we get this email popped in. I heard it, and it was from Gina. She said, Allie, I just feel like if I can do this at Bod Babes, then maybe I can fight for my marriage. If I did this, I mean, I never thought I could do this. Maybe I can have my marriage back. I don't know. And she wrote in there, I don't know if my husband will reject me. I don't know if he's still going to want a divorce, but I want to fight for my marriage. And I was sweating bullets. I was like, oh God, please, God. This is awful. If she fails, I don't know what I'm going to say. And I was just, I was praying for that woman because I thought, oh my gosh, she's laying it all on the line. And I'm just nervous about it. And the next thing you know, I get an email. And same time in the morning, bright and early, I'm sitting in bed with Wade. I hear it go off and it says Gina. And I will tell you, I was afraid to read it. I was just like, oh, it's one of those things where you're like, oh God, this is either going to be horrible or great. I don't know which one, but it's probably going to be completely one or the other. And I opened that email and the first line and I cry. I'm not, it's so funny. I cry with you ladies, but I am not a crier. But when I talk about stuff like this, I cry. We'll try not to cry. So, anyways, the first line says this. I woke up in my husband's arms this morning. And I couldn't even read it out loud to Wade. And I gave it to him and he sat there and he cried and I cried. And Wade will tell you, I'm not a crier. He cried. And it was just like, oh my God. Then the next thing you know, her daughters ran in marathons. And she used to just see him off at the beginning and then she'd meet him at the end. There are points along the marathon where you can stop and you can see them run past. She was then going from the start. She met over at the next point, would see him run past. Then she'd go to the next point and she'd be waiting on him to get there. And then she'd go to the end and wait for him to get there. It was so neat. And then she started training with them. Listen to me. In her 50s, started training with them to run her own marathon. And then she starts running marathons with her children. She said, Allie, I have changed my life so much. You know what? I have just been showing up at my job. And she said, I have just realized that I'm not giving my best to my job. And she said, you know what I decided to do? I decided to go out and get me some new clothes because I look good. And I decided to go in there and really do an excellent job instead of just barely doing my job. And she did. What a testimony. See, these skills that we're learning here, ladies, they don't just change your body. Imagine the confidence you have knowing that you fought for this and you earned it. It's different because it is hard getting to your goal, ladies. It is so hard. It is very hard. That's why so many people just give up and quit. But what I'm giving you right now are the principles of winning. Winning doesn't mean you're going to be perfect. The best basketball player in the world, at least in my opinion, I've talked about him a lot, is Michael Jordan. But if you look at his stats, he's missed a whole lot of shots. A whole lot of shots. I'm going to get those stats and I'm going to put them below this video when I post it in our group. Huge amounts, but yet he's considered one of the best that ever lived. It doesn't mean that we're not going to fail and we have to be perfectionists. Perfectionism will kill you. It will. So will also not giving yourself credit where credit is due, not celebrating yourself, not telling yourself, hey, great job, Patricia. Great job, Kim. Great job, Karen. I did great today. Don't wait on somebody else to tell you you did good. Build your self-confidence. When you say you're going to do something for yourself, you're going to keep your word. You know, I have in the past said, my family hasn't believed in me. So-and-so didn't believe in me. And it's just ruining my self-confidence. No, self-confidence is what you believe about yourself. It's nothing. They can influence you, but it comes down to what you believe about yourself. And guess what? I had to quit believing what someone else said about me. I had to build self-confidence in myself. When I say I will do something, I will do it for me. You know, just like we said last week, we'll do it for the neighbor that we don't like, the neighbor that doesn't like us. We'll go to church and do it for someone that gossips about us because we said we would, and they don't like us. We don't like them either, but we're going to show up with the casserole. Here you go, Mildred. Here is your casserole. Hope you enjoy it. And then when we're sick, she doesn't bring us casserole. We're mad, right? I was there 5 years, and Mildred, she never brought me casserole one time. Mildred. All right. So anyway, we can be mad about all that, but yet we will not keep our word to ourselves. We say, I'm going to go on by, babes. I'm going to change my life. And I'll tell you about some people never start. Hear me. Some people never start. I wish I could say out of thousands of clients that was just one or two. I wish I could. Some people start and they poot out in 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. I look back, I'm like, a month has gone by. How much? They aren't doing very well. What's going on? I look back, they 3 days, kinda hit it. 3 days. We say we want one thing, and we don't show up for ourselves. Did you expect it to be easy? Because if it were going to be easy, everybody would be doing it. It's not. Building a business isn't easy. If you're going to build a successful, strong business, it is not easy. Building a healthy, strong body, it is not easy. But neither is sitting back on your duff and just letting your confidence go in the toilet, watching TV and eating Cheetos. That might seem easy for a minute, But guess what? You got to live out that mess when the doctor tells you you have a high A1C and you realize that type 2 diabetes takes 15 years off of life on average, and I'm 58. Women here around here in the United States on average live to 76. That means if I have type 2 diabetes, I'm in trouble. You know what? And we're going to sit back and play with it. It's time to fight. Sitting back and just letting life happen to you isn't good either. That's hard. Oh my God, I've experienced that hard. Giving up on myself and not believing in myself and looking around to think who liked my nail polish. Who would like my nail polish? I decided to figure out what I wanted out of life, and I decided to change that. And I decided to learn what I liked. And when I made a promise to myself, it's time to keep it. And that's what I'm telling you right now. This half in, half out, half assed thing that we have done is killing us. It is destroying us mentally, tearing us down, making ourselves have little self-worth, little, if any, self-confidence, because we have lied to ourselves again and again. And every time something gets hard, we jump out of the boat. I didn't know I was going to have to paddle this hard. Just throw me out in the lake and I'm just going to go under. I've had enough. I can't take it no more. We aren't those kind of women at Bod Babes. All right. If you were a Bod Babe, maybe that's what you've done in your past, because I have too, but I'm here and I have changed my life and I'm calling you to a new level. Because here's the truth, you can do it. You are capable of changing not just your body, but your entire life. That woman, Carmen, that we're having come speak to you, that is becoming a therapist, she is on this journey. She was a client with me and she changed her life, and she's actually coming back. But listen to this. She decided to go be a therapist after the age of 50. Because she said, you know what, this is what I want to do with my life. And I don't care if anybody thinks I'm too old to go back to school and start over. I started in the fitness business after the age of 51. Became a nutritionist. So ladies, I want you to be your best, not only here, but I want you to excel. Whatever that is in your life that you want to accomplish, life is too short to live any other way. Let's learn together how to not just take our health back, not just take our bodies back, not just take our self-confidence back, our self-esteem back. We need to take it all back. And we need to believe in ourselves again, build trust in ourselves again, and live lives that we are so proud of. Not that we are unproud of what we have done, but there are so many of us who want to accomplish so much more than we have. And we have limited ourselves, not only just here at Bod Babes, because things get hard, we don't have much time. You know, I've got a lady on here sitting right here today that's one of the most busy lawyers. To somebody, if I said his name, you would know his name. She is one of the busiest lawyers lawyers are busy, but this lady, she is very busy, very busy. And you know what? She got her a walking desk for her office. And you know what else? She is on top of her diet. And it was hard. But you know what? She's making it happen. She's a successful woman because that's how she is. She has made things happen. She had every excuse when she started to tell me, Allie, I'm not even really getting 2,000 steps, I think it was, a day. She said, I walk up from the campus. It's that big of a place. She didn't call it a campus. She called it something else. It all the way up the hill a couple times a week and down. That's the extent of my walking. And you know what? I mentioned a walking desk to her. I think I was the one who mentioned it, and she was on top of it. Got it done. That woman's walking 10, 12, 15, 18,000 steps a day. Whoa, she wants it. She has a successful mindset. I love it. And you know who you are. Kim, I'm not going to say anything else about you. I'm so proud of you. Keep going. But that's how we've got to be if we're going to be successful at things. And listen, I don't care what age you are, whatever, you have lots to accomplish. Let's go out of this thing. One day we're going to go out of here, you know? And I want to go out with a bang. I want to go out just proud of myself, just like, look, I helped other people. I helped change lives. I, whatever it is that's on your heart to do, I hope you do it. But it starts with the mentality right here. I think I was going to say it earlier. Why are doctors on here with me? Why? They're much smarter than me. What are they here for? Pediatrician. What is she here for? Eye doctor. Why is she here at Bud Babes learning from me? Why? Smarter than me. Got more degrees than I got. Why? Because it's not about the knowledge, it's about the head game. You can have all the knowledge in the world and you don't have the game to stay in, the head game to stay in the game, and you're out. They talk about it on golf if you watch golf all the time. It just gets in his head. Scheffler just got it in his own head today. I don't know. He just had a little putt to go, and I mean, the man didn't even make it. It was 2 feet in front of him. What the heck just happened to Scheffler? He's been playing good the whole game. He choked. So that's what I'm saying. We gotta get our head in the game. That's why they're here. That's why you keep losing. It's not because, I mean, maybe we were confused. I was confused with, oh God, what should I do? Low carb it? Should I take this supplement? Should I not take that supplement? Should I have apple cider vinegar every day so I can lose 30 pounds of belly fat? Oh, come on. God forbid. Who wants to drink jugs of apple cider vinegar? Come on, quit being stupid. Stay away from this and drink olive oil. Yeah, that's about 500 calories per tablespoon. Yeah, let's just chug a lug it. All the health dreams and the fat loss dreams will just happen. I wish it were that easy. I would drink bottles of olive oil till there was none left. I would just get up in the morning and just drink olive oil instead of coffee. All right. I've said enough. So it's the head game. You get it. It's the head game. And when we fail at the head game, we fail at everything. We got to keep our head in the game. All right. That's it. Do it. That's your challenge this week. Find your head game. Get in there and say, you know what? I'm keeping my word to myself. I'm keeping my word to myself. This week is going to be about calories. I'm going to get my protein in and my calories. Next week, maybe it's protein, calories, and fiber. Next week, maybe it's protein, calories, fiber, and water. I'm going to get in 6,000 steps. Maybe next week it's 7,000 steps. And every time you do it, I want you to celebrate you. And I want you to be proud of you. And I would love to see you drop it in our accountability group in the app. And I would love you to just be so proud of yourself. It makes other people go, well, there is Patricia and Darlene again, God just telling us how great they are. I hope that they say that about you, that you are so hyped up on yourself that everybody is going, oh God, if Darlene says one more time how many steps she got, I'm going to just choke her out. Good. Darlene, go in there and just brag, girl. Brag. I am showing up. I don't care if the rest of y'all are. I am showing up. Come on, Darlene, do it. I dare you. I love you, ladies. I kept you way too long. I just love you. I just want to see you succeed. I just want you to get your head in the game. I just want you to know that you can do this. I want to let you know you have the ability if you keep your head in the game. I've got the plan. Follow it. You've got the ability, but you got to be all in. You've got to be all in. Not perfection, but all in. Darlene says she's up for the challenge. Love you all. Have a great night. Thank you for hanging so long. Bye, ladies.